Hey guys, my name is Leon, and today it's gonna be a different kind of video. I want to share my thoughts on the NBA playoffs 2020 that's coming up inside the bubble. What I'm gonna be doing is talk about each playoff series, briefly and quickly, and share my thoughts of what's gonna happen and who do I think is gonna win the series. But with that being said, let's get started. So the first series I'm gonna talk about, the first four series, anyways, I'm gonna be talking about on the Eastern Conference. So the first series I'm gonna talk about is the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Orlando Magics. So um, I think the Bucks gonna sweep the Magic. Let's be honest. The Magics is dealing with a couple injuries to some of the key guys. Mo Bamba, Jonathan Isaac is out, and even without them, they're not a offensive minded team. They have limited offensive options like with Aaron Gordon, Aaron Fournier, Terrence Ross, maybe Markel Fultz, and I think Milwaukee is just a step above them in both ends. Like Milwaukee is good defensively and they're good offensively, and they got Giannis, and they have way too many options shooting wise. They have way too many shooters for Milwaukee to be limited in the series. Yeah, Orlando's gonna play good defense, but Milwaukee is just gonna tear up the defense. Unfortunately, that's my opinion. Milwaukee has solid role players that they surrounded Giannis with. A good coach, Mike Budenholzer, a good system. Yeah, I just think Milwaukee's gonna sweep the Orlando Magic. There's no chance for Orlando to win the series. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know what's gonna happen. Um, Anyways, moving on to next series, I'm gonna talk about the Toronto Raptors versus Brooklyn Nets. I also think Toronto has a chance to sweep Brooklyn, and to be honest, I think Toronto could sweep Brooklyn because sure they don't have Kawhi like last year, but they have enough competent, solid, good players. Kyle Lowry is a good go-to option. Siakam has grown to be also a good go-to option, so I think they could replace guy. I mean, not replace guy. I think they could replace Kawhi with those two options, increasing their scoring output. They have OG Anunoby who replaces Kawhi defensively, and OGE. Yeah, guys forget that OG didn't play. I would say most of that season. Like he missed 80% of that season because he was hurt, and it didn't matter because they had enough depth to overcome that. They have solid role players. Fred Van Vliet. I never even know how to say his name. He's a good scoring option, good defensively for his size, especially him and Kyle Lowry being small guards in the backcourt. They have solid role players, solid shooters, solid big men like Gasol and Ibaka. And Ibaka's actually taller than I thought. I thought Ibaka was 6'10", but when I checked the basketball reference recently, he's actually 7 foot, which is even scarier. So I think Toronto's gonna sweep Brooklyn. I mean, with Brooklyn, they don't have KD or Kyrie right now. So Kawhi is the best scorer. Yes, I know they signed Jamal Crawford, but the starting point guard is Tyler Johnson. Like, come on, what are we doing? I mean, Brooklyn, they're sending out their B team. I'm not saying that the team completely sucks. Like, sure, they'll play hard, but the intern coach, I don't even know who the intern coach is. It's probably Jock Bond or something. I don't know. I'm not even gonna look that up. But Brooklyn is in my hometown, so I mean, like I'm a Knicks fan, so at least I got one of my hometown teams watching it. I'm more Knicks fan than a Brooklyn fan, but that's another video for another day. Anyways, I think Twan's gonna sweep Brooklyn. Sorry, it is what it is. Let's move forward to the um, Celtics versus the Sixers series. As much as I like Embiid, the Ben Simmons injury is gonna hurt them. I know Ben Simmons and Embiid don't play well together, but I think that's because Ben Simmons was playing the wrong position. I think should have been playing power forward as a point guard. Yeah, he could run the offense as a point guard, that's fine. But I think if you had another playmaker in there, which they finally decided to put in with Shake Milton, it could open the offense more. But unfortunately, they didn't get enough chances to show that. So now it's Embiid by himself, and hopefully he has enough of the shooting and playmaking around him that can make him effectively and make the team win. However, I don't. It can go either way because Boston's big man they don't have a true stopper to stop Embiid, but I don't see it. I think Celtics has an upper hand here, especially with Simmons out. So I think the Celtics can win in 6 games because they will have trouble stopping Embiid. Embiid might win a game or two, but I just personally think Bucks is gonna win the series. Hopefully they do. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is. That being said, let's talk about the last Eastern Conference series in the playoffs. The Indiana Pacers versus the Miami Heat. The Indiana is the fourth seed. Miami is being the fifth seed. I'll be honest, I like Miami here. Miami has the upper advantage. They have the edge. I just think that Miami has more, not only more talent, but they don't have like, you know, they have injuries obviously, but a lot of the injuries are to like guys like unfortunately Derrick Jones Jr. suffered like a neck injury and sucks that he has. I wish him well, a speedy recovery. But Indiana has suffered key injuries. Like Jeremy Lamb, for example, is a good shooter for them. Sabonis is, you could say he's their best player or second best player. Even though Oladipo is the best player, so Sabonis is the second best player. Either way, that hurts Indiana. Indiana is gonna lose to Miami, but also I think they'll lose in 6 games because Indiana's not no scrub pushover team. Indiana will play well. They have T.J. Warren who's been averaging over 37 points a game, 30 something. I don't know the exact number, but I just think that Miami has more players that they can play, more styles that they can play. They can play Bam at the four, Bam at the five. So they have versatility. They have the wing players. They have the role players. Miami is more stacked as a team, despite of their injuries. And I think Iguodala and Crowder is currently hurt right now, but I think they both can come back during time. Even if they don't come back, they're out for a extended period of time. They have enough, roster depth. They have enough shooting. I think they can, not easily, but I think they can beat Indiana. But with that being said, let's move on to the Western Conference series. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the Western Conference playoff series. Let's start off with the Lakers versus the Portland Trailblazers, who recently won their play-in bubble matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies, and they earned the 8th seed. I'm gonna be honest. If the Blazers didn't have like CJ McCollum, let's say for example, CJ McCollum was at 100%, the Blazers may had a slight chance. But with CJ McCollum being hurt, with Blazers already kind of lacking in roster depth a little bit, they don't have Ariza, they don't have Ronnie Hood. I think the Blazers, they're not gonna get swept, but they'll lose in 5 against the Lakers. Because the one weakness the Lakers have right now, not having Avery Bradley, not having Rondo, who's hurt. I think Caruso is also hurt for the time being. He's gonna come back though, but they essentially has to play LeBron at point guard, even though I prefer them not to do that because it's gonna tire LeBron out. But whatever, he can run the offense. It is what it is. But I think Miami's not Miami. He's not Miami no more. I think the Lakers' optimal move for LeBron is to leave him at the three and play another two. Like obviously have Danny Green there, but play another guard and not KCP, not Caldwell Pope. Nah, like he should come off the bench. But my opinion, I think, because now they only have Quinn Cook as their true point guard in the roster. That's not LeBron or any of the other guys I mentioned. But I say maybe play somebody like Raiders at the point. But I don't know. It's just I don't know. The Raiders not that efficient. So LeBron has to play point guard, unfortunately. But the Lakers can still win the series because Lakers have LeBron, AD, and that's better than Dame, CJ, or Dame Melo, or Dame or whoever. Just AD is just I think the Blazers has no one to guard AD, so Anthony Davis is gonna just tear them apart, I think. And I like Nurkic, but Nurkic, I don't think he can guard it. Anthony Davis. And even if he wanted to, Lakers gonna play big. I think for this series they should definitely play big because they should force Portland to either put Melo on either a McGee or force Melo to guard if they want to go small anyway to guard someone like AD, or they're gonna have to play Zach Collins a lot more. And Portland, I think they should. Portland is better for Portland to go small. Anyways, doesn't matter. Portland is gonna lose the series, but in 5 games, because Dame is on another level. I think Dame could win them a game by himself, but he can't win the series by himself. Not when LeBron James and Anthony Davis is on the other side. I'm sorry. I like Dame Lillard. He's on the tear. He's doing amazing things, shooting the ball, making it from the half court. I feel like he's shooting the ball with his eyes closed sometimes. I like Dame Lillard, but it's not happening. Um, Next series I'm going to talk about is the Clippers versus Mavs, Luka versus Kawhi, and this is gonna be unpopular. Well, not really unpopular. What am I saying? Clippers gonna win this series. There's a chance for a sweep, but I think the Clippers can also win this in 5. Clippers is a deeper roster than Dallas, and I like Dallas's roster. I like some of the pieces that they have there. It's not complete yet, but they have a decent a decent roster construction. Like Luca, I don't see Luca as a point guard. I see Luca more as a shooting guard, like a James Harden type. But him playing point guard is whatever. Like as long as I think you pair Luca with Seth Curry, which I think they was doing for most of the year, it works. I like that backcourt combination. But that's besides me. Anyways, I just think the Clippers have more depth, more talent. They have Kawhi, obviously, Paul George, Montrezl Harrell, I think is returning. Lou Williams, Patrick Beverly. They showed up the big man depth with Joakim Noah. I don't think Noah's gonna play as much, but they have Zubac and gonna play those minutes. They have Marcus Morris from the Knicks, not Markeith. Markeith's on Lakers. Marcus Morris right now is the better twin, the more offensive gifted twin, and I think he's decent enough defensively to make it hard for whoever's guarded. He can guard people decently, and he can do stuff on offense. So there's that. I just think the Clippers. I like Rick Carlisle too, but Doc is not a bad coach. Doc is a very good coach. So is Rick Carlisle. So I think they're kind of the same level coaching wise. They both have one championship ring. It just matters who got the most talent. And the Clippers got the most talent here, so I'm choosing the Clippers in 5 games. With that being said, let's move on to the Nuggets and the Jazz. Two dominant big men, Rudy Gobert versus Nikola Jokic. Two different systems. It's gonna be interesting. Honestly, I would choose the Nuggets, but slightly because they are dealing with some injuries in the backcourt. I think Murray just returned recently. I don't know what happened to Gary Harris. Will Barton. That's the name. Yeah. That's why they've been playing. Not Luka. They playing Nikola Jokic at point guard, and I mean, he he could run the offense. He has the point guard abilities, but he's a center. This is so weird. Denver's been throwing weird lineups out there. They have Bobo, Michael Porter Jr. I think in a couple years, Denver is gonna have a really interesting set of wings and bigs and all kinds of people like that. They have Mason Plumlee, who's a solid center, and somebody I wish Portland was able to keep. But I know that Nurkic is a huge talent, so I understand why they made that trade years ago. Anyways, Denver has a slight edge. Utah, as much as I like the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell's a fantastic player. He's, I think, from New York as well, or in Connecticut. I don't remember where. No, he's from New York. Anyways, Donovan Mitchell, he's a good two guard. I rather see him play point guard personally, but that's just me because I think he's small for the shooting guard position. Him, Mike Conley, Royce O'Neal, what's this guy's name? Joe Ingles. It's a good solid five with Rudy Gobert. It's good solid players. I'm just worried about the bench. The bench, Utah's bench, especially without Bodan, but Bojanovic on the roster because he's out for a year with an injury, makes the bench really weak. I know they have Jordan Clarkson in there. They have Marin Moutier, but other than those two, there are other guys that are playing horrible. I don't even know their names. Just horrible. It's horrible. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't trust the Jazz depth chart right now. I'm going with the Nuggets. Um, and the last series I want to talk about is the Thunder and the Rockets. This is gonna go 7 games. I think both teams play small. Obviously, Houston plays small, obviously, but the Thunder also play small in their own way when they play three guards with, a solid power forward in the center. Right now, they have. the Thunder have four good guys who are essentially could play point guard. Converse, whatever. Chris Paul, one of the best point guards in the league. Shea Gillis Alexandra came in the league as a point guard, but he's been playing more two guard and the small forward position, which unfortunately for him is because of the amount of guards that's on this roster. They also have Luke Dork, who's been playing a lot of the wing, but he's only 6'3", so he can't really guard somebody like Kawhi or Giannis. Is too big. They're too big for him, but he's a good player, solid defensively against certain guards. I would definitely try to look for them to give him more run. And obviously, one of the 6 man of the year candidates, Dennis Schroeder, is also a point guard. And they play Shooter, Shea, and Chris Paul with, I think, Gallo and Adams, and they're really good. The problem is they need bigger wings to help them get through the playoffs. And I don't, they only have, it's not that they have players that could play the wing, like Ferguson. He's not good offensively, he's just good defensively. Robeson's a better, Andre Roberson, by the way, he's a better version of Ferguson. And Andre Roberson's actually very good defensively, but terrible offensively. So you gotta play one of those guys at the three. And I think Dork is hurt too. He got hurt playing against Miami, so I don't think he'll be available first few games of the playoffs. So they have to play Roberson and Tyler Ferguson, and then they got this guy called Abel Nadir, who's also a wing player, a small forward. Yeah, the Thunder might be trouble there, but they have Gallo and Steven Adams, and those guys are solid. And Noel is a decent backup center. They also have guys like Darius Baisley and like Baisley as a rookie. He's a really skilled not two way. What I'm saying? He's a skilled rookie. He has potential. He's long. He's 6'9". I think they should start him in a few years, but that's just me. But with the Rockets, as we know, PG Tucker, 6'4", 6'5", center, whatever. Reminds me of the days when they would play Chuck Hayes at center when Yao was there in 2006. Is what it is. They have Marvin Covington and what's this guy's name? Daniel House, solid perimeter guys. One plays three, one plays four. Tic tac toe, whoever. And they have James Harden and Westbrook. I think Westbrook is hurt. So that gives the Thunder a slight chance, but I don't know. I mean, James Harden is able to he's able to run an offense and be successful at it by himself. He's done it before. And Eric Gordon, who I think is going to start in place of Westbrook, is not a scrub. He's a pretty good player. They have Len McElmore, they have Jeff Green, they have solid perimeter guys, Austin Rivers. So it's not like they're a complete scrubby team. Like their bench is better than the benches of the Jazz, for example. So it's gonna be pretty even. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna go 7 games, and I would think if Westbrook doesn't come back, I would think the Thunder have a chance. But if Westbrook can come back game 3, game 4, I think the Rockets edge it out in 7 games. So I'm just gonna. I don't like the way how Houston plays. I don't like the style of play. I don't like going super small. So I just think I'm gonna just choose Houston. I like the Thunder. I hope the Thunder can get past them, but I'm gonna choose Houston. That's my gut feeling. Anyways, those are my thoughts about the NBA playoffs 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts.